Recently, I've been teaching a method of purling that relies on transferring stitches from one board to the other rather than the wrist-twisting purl stitch. Up until now, I've been demonstrating on a custom-made Cindywood loom. But if you're not ready to make that kind of investment, this movie is about doing it on a very inexpensive loom. The technique relies on having the distance between the pegs across the board be quite similar to the distance between the pegs along the board. You've seen these looms available. They're very inexpensive and they're plastic. Placing a peg in every third hole places them an inch apart, and that's a good enough match for the distance across the board. This is a distance suitable for knitting most number 6 yarns on. These looms knit just fine, but they're cheaply made and the mold marks are still there. Anywhere that there is a rough mold mark, it may snag the yarn, so I routinely go through it first and file those off. Doing so makes an enormous performance difference. There's a rudimentary nail file on my Swiss Army knife, and that works just fine. And for the ones that have a little bit more plastic, you can use one of the Swiss Army knife blades and scrape it off first. If you wonder if I am marring the smooth surface of the plastic, the answer is yes, it's unavoidable, but I still find it preferable. People often complain that these looms have loose pegs that don't stay put. I think the secret is to make sure that they get really tapped in. Straighten each peg meticulously to make sure you get it positioned as you wish. And then, I'm not doing it in this shot, but let me show you how to position your fingers in a moment so as to be sure of both getting the peg firmly in and not whacking a finger. The pegs are little, not heavy at all, so if you place your index finger and third finger positioned so that they surround the peg, you can keep it quite level, prevent most twisting, give it a good solid thwack, and the hammer cannot hit any fingers. We have all kinds of positioning options here since we're using only every third peg, but for this project, I want the pegs directly across from one another on the board. Here's how we arrange knit one, purl one ribbing on this board set up this way. At any one time, there are 12 pegs in use in total. 6 of them are on each board. The ones in use are centered on the empty space of the opposing board. We wrap zigzagging to and fro using every other one of the pegs we actually have in use on each board, and then knit the bottom loop over the top loop. One side of the board is knitting knits, the other side is knitting purls. So we keep on in that configuration as long as we want to knit one, purl one ribbing. Here I am changing to a seed stitch configuration, which is actually identical to the knit one, purl one rib, except that the stitches need to swap boards every row. So every single row will zigzag to and fro from peg to peg, just as though we had been knitting knit one, purl one ribbing. We'll knit the row over, just as though we had been knitting knit one, purl one ribbing. But when that is done, we will swap the positions across the board of every single stitch. In that way, on the following row, those that were created as knits will be created as purls and the reverse. You can use the same basic technique for things like basket weave, which is usually a block of 3 stitches by 2 rows or some proportion similar to that of knits and purls each, and then changing for the following, say, 2 rows. You could accomplish knit 2, purl 2 ribbing by placing 2 side-by-side pegs on each board, alternating with 2 side-by-side pegs on the opposing board. And because we basically have an inch of distance between each peg, either across the board or side to side, the stitches will come out nicely. Functionally, the 2 boards opposing one another means that, say, the back board is knitting purls, the front board is creating knits. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the hooks. This loom came with some hooks. I assumed they were cheap and I'd rather use my Cindywood hook. but its point did not fit the groove in the pegs beautifully. Since I didn't love the angle of the hooks that came with it, I bent them, and that worked well. So, while it's lots of fun to have a truly premium loom, you can use the no-purl purling method on even the humblest of looms.